look on this guy's face says it all. I'm gonna try to get through this. I heard about what's trending with Jonah Hill. First thing I thought is, oh god, did he die? Did something happen to him? But no, it's even more nefarious than that. And when I say nefarious, I don't mean on his part. I mean in the way the media is spinning this. And you'd think that it was a problematic take that he made. It was so anti-problematic that I'm left scratching my head. And this is the reason why us women can't find happiness. I don't understand. We tell men, this is what we want. A lot of us, not everybody, of course, but this is what we want. And then they give it to us. And then we get upset when they give it to us. I don't understand. But let's get into it. I'm going to be using from Valuetainment. I'm going to be basically making commentary because they basically give you like a rundown. If you guys want to watch the actual video itself without me commenting on it or the situation that they're talking about, you can feel free to do so. It's linked in the description, so you can just watch it. But let's get into it.
Here's Jonah Hill's ex sharing text that they had together publicly, which is obviously a very noble thing to do. And many guys, of course, want to date her after she shares texts of her ex with everybody. Here's a text that Jonah sent to her. Plain and simple. If you need surfing with men, boundary-less, inappropriate friendships with men, to model, to post pictures of yourself in a bathing suit, to post sexual pictures, friendship with women who are in unstable places, and from your wild recent past beyond getting a lunch or coffee or something respectful, I am not the right partner for you. If these things bring you to a place of happiness, I support it, and there will be no hard feelings. These are my boundaries for romantic partnership. My boundaries with you based on the ways these actions have hurt our trust.
So they do get into commentary later, and based on what I've seen, and I saw the text before I actually got into the video with this, I don't see what's wrong with this. He is saying these are my standards for a relationship that I want. I'm communicating the standards set for me. And by the way, later on in the video, they do explain, which I'll play a little bit of it. These are actually old texts, as you can see from the timestamp. This was from 2021, and she recently leaked this because apparently Jonah recently had a child with his now girlfriend or wife or whatever. So it seems a bit salty of this new bitch, the ex-bitch, sorry, I'm calling her a bitch because she does act like a bitch. I'm just being honest. To just post these, for what reason? How insensitive and fucking petty of you to do something like this. And it's so tone deaf because you're not posting something that he said that was problematic. He's just setting guidelines of what he wants in a relationship. He even says, you violated our trust. These are standards he set for himself. And I'm glad he put this in writing so everyone can see what a jackass she is. All the freaking feminists and crazy people are like, oh my god, he's so controlling. But girls, let's be real. When people ask us what we're looking for in a man, how long is your fucking laundry list of things that you want out of a man? He must be 6'3". He must be making $800,000 a week. He must look good. He must be faithful. He must be emotionally verbal, or what is that thing like? Emotionally intelligent. He must affirm me. He must do this. He's got to have a car. He's got to have, it goes on and on and on. It goes so fucking on. It is all the way, light years away into another universe. How long the list is that women usually have. And you know what? Every other woman will see a woman putting these lists out there and say, yes, girl, yeah, standards. You got to set them shits up, right? You got to know you ain't playing shit. That's okay. And everybody praises that. But when a man does it, it's not okay. Like, he even says, like, I'm not the right partner for you. I support what you do if that's what you want to do. Personally, that's a deal breaker for me. And you know what? Me personally, I'm married now, of course, and my husband and I have come to that agreement. We had these conversations before we started dating. Those were things that we were okay with each other. Like, we were like, these are deal breakers for me if you do this. I know 100% this about you. You know 100% this about me. I give you my password. You give me your password. So we show each other. We trust each other. Like, I didn't ask him. He's the one who did that because he wanted to show, hey, I want you to know I'm not hiding anything from you. And of course, because he did it, I did it in kind because I'm like, okay, well, it looks bad if he gives me his password and I don't give him mine. You know what I'm saying? What am I hiding anyway? Giving my passwords to myself. we're completely honest with each other, but we had let each other know from the get-go, this is a deal breaker for me. Smoke, this is a deal breaker for me. He doesn't smoke anymore, he vapes. It's fine, because I have to worry about getting freaking lung cancer from vaping. I don't want kids. I said, if you really, really want them, maybe, yeah, sure, I guess I won't be happy about it. I really don't want that, but as my husband, I'm willing to make that concession for you. He doesn't want kids either. He wouldn't mind if something happened and then whatever, but he doesn't want them because we're both too introverted for that shit. We talk about this stuff. And if we were to ever split up in the future for whatever reason, one thing I would not be doing, especially if he got with someone else, is leak freaking texts that make him look really good, which I don't know. Was that what she was trying to do? I don't know. But it's just very odd to me. But this is why there's a double standard. Let's read back what Jonah Hill said from the female's perspective. Plain and simple. If you need to constantly surf with women, have boundaryless inappropriate friendships with women, to model, to post pictures of yourself with your junk all outside and thirst trapping with your abs to Instagram so women can constantly try to hit on you in your DMs, to post sexual pictures of yourself, friendships with men who are in unstable places from your wild recent pasts of womanizing beyond getting a lunch or coffee or something respectful, I'm not the right girl for you. If those things bring you to a place of happiness, I support it, and there will be no hard feelings. But these are my boundaries for my romantic partnership. My boundaries with you based on the ways these actions have hurt our trust. If this list had been made by a woman referring to her ex-boyfriend or whatever, every woman in social media would have been like, yes, queen! See how emotionally mature you are? That man needs some therapy. What he did was really, not thoughtful, blah, blah, blah. Everyone may be praising her because that shows maturity, you listing out your boundaries. And that's a lot of why women go through the problems they do, because they don't list their boundaries. And they get mad when a man does something, but you didn't list a clear deal breaker or boundary. Or you do, and he oversteps it or breaks it, and you stay with him anyway. So please tell me how it's okay if a woman were to make this list, but it's somehow not okay and controlling when Jonah does it or a man does it. In what way is this problematic?
Have hurt our trust. When you read this,
I could not imagine a more reasonable sentiment from a boyfriend. Not only that, but he communicated very, very clearly and very sensitively, I felt. He's essentially saying, this is what I expect in a relationship. You are currently not meeting those standards. If you want to keep going on the way you're going, that's totally fine. People have accused him of being controlling. He is not telling her what to do. He is simply saying, I will not be a part of it. And guess what, women? We are not entitled to have a boyfriend, to have a certain man's time. He is just setting, I thought, very reasonable boundaries. I know in this social media age, it's for some reason controversial to say, hey, you probably shouldn't be posting thirst traps. I would say that, period, but especially if you're in a relationship. So to see people calling Jonah...
And you know what? I know this sounds freaking weird, but even as a girl, I don't post... I'm not gonna lie, I used to. It's not like that. They weren't like really bad, like the way they are now. But I was like, oh, I'm gonna take a picture. I'm looking sexy as shit, and it's not bad. I'm not like in my underwear or anything, but I look fucking good. And I was like, I don't do that now. Not just because I just don't do that now. I don't feel comfortable doing that now. I think maybe in the future I might. Not like that, like post pictures of me doing stuff, but especially with the whole stalkerish things and people being crazy, I don't really like doing that anymore. And I don't really see a need to. If I were going to do something like that, it would be something probably like off the cuff with my animals or something, or with my husband, and he doesn't do that either. And I would not feel comfortable with him doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're posting a picture of yourself because you're feeling yourself, sure. Putting your stuff out there with and that's my bulge. That's my dick. I don't want other people sitting there with their fucking grubby paws liking it. Like, that's just me. I'm very, very possessive. I will admit, I'm very possessive. And I like when my partner is possessive over me, and my husband is very possessive over me. We both come to that understanding that it is disrespectful to the other person to post thirst traps. Who am I posting them for? Just saying. And just to let you know, what girls are full of shit, around the time I was posting those pretty pictures, I was crushing on him hard. And I knew that he was stalking my social media profile, and that's why I did it. Usually when that happens, you're looking for validation from somebody. And it wasn't for all the hundreds of other guys that were liking my pictures. It was from him, because I knew he was secretly watching, and he was lurking, because he was very shy. And he admitted it later on. Don't let girls fool you and say, I'm doing it for myself. No, you're not. No, you're not. stop the cap. Because when you're at home and nobody can see you, bitch, you are in your sweats and your makeup is off. Stop capping. Anyway, let's just get that out because everyone likes to sit here and bullshit. I'm so over that right now. It's understandable if your partner is not exactly over the moon about you showing your business to everybody else. It's very uncomfortable. I also remember there was a situation, my ex, we were together for like 7, 8 years, and he is redneck, like very tough German guy, German descent, built like a frickin' linebacker, and he was very conventionally attractive, but he was also very shy, and he understood that other guys liked me. He was also very possessive, and I had a certain way that I would dress. It wasn't like a hoe, really. It's just sometimes I'd show a little cleavage. My boobs were big, so they pop out sometimes. The button closing up over, it fits me, but my breasts don't exactly fit. So anyway, and I remember he came up to me one time before I left, he grabbed me and pulled me in, and I was like, what? And he buttoned the top of my shirt. Didn't say a word, just had that set jaw, and he was like, let me just button this right here. Okay, good to go now. And I thought it was cute. I know other girls would look at that, they're like, ew, so controlling. But the fact that he didn't want any other guys looking at my boobs, call me crazy, call me pick me, call me internalized misogyny, I thought that was kind of hot, that he cared enough about me, or he was possessive enough over me to want that for himself. And I wasn't doing that to disrespect him, I was just used to dressing that way, and I kept it that way. He was also kind of over possessive in some ways, like, you want me talking to guys, but did some other things that was like, really you're that okay. But I understood where it was coming from, and I also expected the same of him. There's certain things makes your partner uncomfortable, you wouldn't do those things. So the fact that Jonah already had listed these out based on him saying that she violated their trust means that he had set those guidelines before and she broke them. She understood that he didn't like these things, or these things were deal breakers, and she still went ahead and did them anyway. Just like it would have been wrong if she said, hey, you're a little bit of a flirt. Could you not do that around me? And even when I'm not there, because if other girls know I'm with you and people know I'm with you, you doing that devalues me, and it makes it seem as though you have no respect for me. It makes me look stupid. It makes me feel uncomfortable. You don't want me doing it. Please not do it. And then he goes out there and does it anyway. And then you say, okay, look, I cannot do this with you anymore because I listed out my deal breaker and you still want to go ahead and do that. And that's your shtick. I'm not the kind of romantic partner. And then imagine him later on after you move on and you're happy, and somebody who does adhere to those things that you consider deal breakers is happy to do them because they also agree. Imagine you also have that life, and your ex comes out and he's all like, guys, look at the text she sent me 2 years ago or 3. Am I salty or what? Like, imagine her having standards. The fuck? Oh my god, that looks so dumb. This bitch looks so freaking dumb, and everybody else who agrees with her looks even dumber. And that's why y'all are not married or happy and always making TikTok videos asking, where are all the men? Why are they all so toxic? Why are these guys ghosting me? Oh. And I start laughing at some point, because at some point you start feeling sorry for people, because they're the same people who are praising behaviors like the ones on social media that are saying that it's problematic for a man to have standards. Make it make sense.
Jonah Hill abusive for this. I was really surprised. I was expecting something really juicy, outrageous when I opened the text, and then it's just, okay. Okay.
Lauren, you hit the nail on the head here.
So to see people calling Jonah Hill abusive for this, I was really surprised. I was expecting something really juicy, outrageous when I opened the text, and then it's just, okay. Okay.
Lauren, you hit the nail on the head here, is that you're expecting something so much worse than this.
And I was excited for it. You're
like, all right, Jonah's a woman beater. Let's find it.
Yeah.
And even if you look on page 6 of New York Post, that he's been labeled a misogynist.
Oh, God.
Abusive, actually.
Yeah.
Abusive.
Well, emotional abuse is what it's called.
Yeah.
Here's the actual deal. You hit the nail on the head when you said boundaries. And also another word for boundaries is preferences. And this is the difference between men and women today. Women have no problem, and they are not lambasted or been made fun of or ashamed for when they say they have preferences. Well, what are the preferences all women want? I want a man that's 6 foot, makes 6 figures. I want him to be nice with my mother.
Oh my god, I did not watch up until this point, and he exactly said the same exact thing that I said.
I want him to treat, I want him to have puppies. I want him to treat me right. I want him to pay on the first date. I want him to be fun, be outgoing, have a good network. There's a checklist that women want. But when guys are like, here's my checklist. Don't be a hoe.
Put your tits away.
Don't do thirst traps all over the internet. I'd preferences, if you don't have a bunch of guy friends that you're hanging out with.
Notice Jonah also said boundaryless. So let me ask you something, females who think that he's misogynistic or abusive. Would you be happy if your boyfriend, especially, if you have a very attractive husband or boyfriend, if he didn't have any boundaries with his female friends he was hanging out with when you were not around? And if you need me to actually spell this out for you because your brain's not working properly, imagine him going up chest to chest with his crotch up on their crotch. You know that hug that people do where the guys lift you up and then they kind of swing you around a little bit and hold on very tightly, the way that all of our guy friends do, the way that my guy friends used to do, and I didn't know that they wanted to screw me, and then I found out later, okay, that's, the sister brother hug that you feel is a sister brother hug, but they don't feel that way. There's a church hug, there's a side hug, there's the bro hug, and there's the I would love to screw you if I get a chance hug. That's the hug where they hold on a little bit too tight and they do the whole penguin thing where they're wobbling from side to side in place while they're you know exactly what I'm talking about. Are you okay with your boyfriend or your husband doing that with other females? No? Okay, well, do you think it's fair then that your boyfriend or husband would not be okay with you doing that with other males or females that want to fuck you? I mean, I don't see why this is so controversial. I don't know why now, today's age, we're saying this like 10 years ago, it wasn't like this. Like, what happened? I don't see why it's okay for one side of the aisle to do something, and when the other side does the exact same thing, they are crucified for it. I really don't understand. If anything, this actually backfired and made Jonah look like more of a stand-up guy.
Actually, just be a respectful person and don't put your shit out there. Oh my God, he's an emotionally abusive person. He's a misogynist. It's such bullshit.
Controlling.
I have a question though. Was she like this before this happened, or all of a sudden she started dating
here's
Pat?
the other part of the text. That's interesting because he says 25.
Okay,
He says,
go ahead.
You're right. We can't do serve social things or develop trust until you consider me and make decisions that give regard to our relationship. I have been vulnerable as possible and I am telling you, I am needing you to step up to the plate, which you can. I'm sure of it, but these losers don't get your time if you want me. Straight up. It's consideration. I respect your love for surfing, but I respect myself as well. And your love of surfing and being in those situations and lack of awareness are not mutually exclusive. This, by the way, the guy, what a very well-spoken guy.
He seems
does
very
he have an editor?
emotionally intelligent.
Yeah.
He has an editor and shit.
And I don't
This
think
is
he's
this is
acting
actually
here. I think this
ChatGPT.
is him.
This isn't me. I have my own issues that I own. I gotta love that. If you want marriage and family, you can't use the 25 card. Step up and cut shit. These people don't get your time or your kindness at the sacrifice of mine.
This guy's
that seems very emotionally intelligent.
And it's a very interesting thing that he said, because if you find that your guy friends, you care more about their feelings or holding on to their friendships than you do about your current partner. Why are you with your current partner? When you have someone that you love and who you were screwing, unless you're screwing your guy friends, you're supposed to care more about their happiness. Happiness. Oh, I don't know why I'm saying it like that. But anyway, you're supposed to care more about what they feel because they're your family. Like, you're thinking about this person being your family. And I've been in the situation where I'm somebody who was friends with my exes. Because I'm like, okay, if we ended on mutual terms, I love everybody. And I thought, okay, you can be friends with your exes, my boyfriends can be friends with their exes, as long as there's no, weirdness going on. And I'm like, whatever, it's fine. They moved on, you moved on, didn't see an issue with it. And one of my exes, my high school sweetheart, well, I just say that because we dated all throughout high school. He says he was still in love with me. And I told him, look, we cannot do this anymore. And this was before I even met my husband or my boyfriend at the time anyway. And he said, well, I want to still be in your life. No, we can just go back to being friends, whatever. I'm like, okay, I'm okay with that if you can handle that. But if it's too hard for you, then we can't. No, it's not too hard for me. Okay. But then what he would do is when he realized that things were getting serious with my now husband, he would start talking shit about him. And of course, I'm completely honest with my husband about everything. Like, I tell him everything. I don't hold anything from him. He sees all my conversations. I want him to know there's 100% trust there. And he said, it's really disrespectful. Like, how would you feel if my exes was talking shit about you all the time and I'm still friends with them? It's very disrespectful. And I said, you're right. And I asked my ex, please don't talk about him that way. Don't talk about my boyfriend that way. If I was with you, you wouldn't want somebody else, me entertaining someone who was speaking about you that way. No, of course, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, well, he likes this, and he would always put these jabs in there, and it was always about my boyfriend. It was always about him, and, men do that. They try to put down other men. My husband's done it with other guys he thought were threats. All guys do it. You know. When you're trying to make the other guy look less appealing to the girl you're courting. So I was like, this guy's not stopping. I'm gonna have to put him on timeout. Like, we can't talk if you keep doing this. And my boyfriend straight up said, my husband straight up said back then, if this person does not value our relationship, I don't feel comfortable with you being friends with them. If he can't control himself and it's clear that he has ill intent and it's all about trying to get back with you or something, that is not okay. I cut him off. Guys that I had previous feelings for, if they were making advances on me while they knew I was in a serious relationship, I have all the messages and stuff. I'm honest with that. I showed my husband them. He didn't feel comfortable with that either. He's not controlling. He let me know, I don't feel comfortable you staying in contact with someone who perpetually is looking for an opportunity to fuck you. You're my wife. And I feel the same way. So I cut those people off. And every time you cut them off, they're always very angry or upset and hurt at that. And I understand that. And me coming from a place like before all of this, where I would just love everybody. If there's no reason, you haven't done anything to me, I haven't done anything to you, we still talk. There's other ways that we connect. We all love video games, we love movies, stuff like that. We're nerds. I thought there was a connection through that. But I do understand how it can complicate things. And my husband mentioned that girls do this thing. He used to watch, what's the fat guy's name again? Oh my God. Oh my God, it's a comedian. It's a very fat, tall, black guy. He's really funny. And I can't remember his name. He died. But anyway, I bet it's going to come to me after I'm done the video. That guy said something about dicks in a jar. It's break open in case of emergency. So girls will have an orbit of guys around her. In case something happens with her current, she gets validation from them and she stores their dicks in a jar. It sounds so stupid. But then if the boyfriend is having problems, she'll run to that guy. Oh my God, my boyfriend said this. Oh, I'm sorry, baby, he's an asshole. Or if you're smart, you'll be like, maybe it'll be okay, she's just feeling bad. You tell her what she needs to hear. So you're friend zoned, but in a strategic way. And in a fit of passion, you decide to leave your man, or unfortunately, if you're one of those people, cheat. And guess who you're usually going to cheat with? Your friend. I mean, I wouldn't, but I'm pretty sure there's some people that hang on to certain guys because there is a level of attraction to them. Kind of those situations where if I wasn't in the relationship, I would kind of situation. And girls are not okay with guys having vaginas in a jar. Never heard that terminology. In a basket, whatever. They're not okay with that. So if you're not okay with that, why are you getting mad at the guy for not being okay with the same thing that you're not okay with? It doesn't make any sense to me. And it did take a level of maturity because I was naive and stupid and clueless. And I was like, nah. My husband said, call your close friend, the one that you always talk to, that you said, no, he doesn't like me like that guy. Call him, the nerd, the other comic guy. I called him, didn't know my husband was there. This was when my husband and I were dating. And I asked him, hey, such and such, do you like me? Like, yes. I was like, really, bro? So, like, if we wanted to sleep together, right? Yep. I'm like, oh my God. Wow. Okay, so that fucked me up because I thought we were friends for 6 years because we were friends. You like other people. So I was very confused. And funny enough, as my husband said to me, you will know which guys are truly your friends when you get married or start talking about me a lot, which I did because I couldn't help it. They just start dropping off like flies. And that's exactly what happened. The moment I got married and changed my status to married, all of them left. Not like I was talking much to them anyway, but they would call on occasion, get advice about their girlfriends and whatnot. As soon as I got married, just the well ran dry there. I don't know what. They're just like, nah, nope. Friendship just evaporated. No more of that. So that was like, oh, well, my husband was right. That sucks. I guess it is impossible or very unlikely for guys and girls to be friends. And it was unfortunate for me growing up because I was a tomboy. My neighborhood was only boys. I was raised by my father while my mom was in America. So that was my whole thing. I only identified with, if I had grown up in this now crazy society, people would have told me, oh, you're trans. Like, because I like boy stuff, and I just had more of an understanding, or I had more fun with guys. I related to them more. But when you hit puberty and, you know, guys started liking me, and it was like, it was frustrating because it's like, well, I like playing games with them, like playing video games. I like doing sports. I like roughhousing, like wrestling and stuff. That was fun for me. And I'm thinking something completely different, and they're thinking something completely different. And it's like, damn, that sucks. That really sucks. But as my husband pointed out, unfortunately, when you're in a relationship, or it's not unfortunate, but it's one of those things with growing up, you have to be willing to make those sacrifices. If I, as a guy, can't have a bunch of bitches around me, hugging up on me and doing all that shit, and me going late night to their house playing video games, why do you think you can do the same thing? Like, so if you're okay with that, that's fine. But each of us has been cheated on. We all know what it is. So it's just one of those things. If you're at a level where you're not prepared to make those sacrifices, then you're not prepared to make those sacrifices. No one cares. But most people, I imagine, most guys and girls, don't really want their partners going out and doing what Jonah claimed this woman was doing. And I don't think it's a bad thing.
Jonah.
Communicating very clearly.
Yes. By the way, do you know this is not recent? Do you know that he just had a baby with another woman?
Yeah, well,
a month ago.
In my
Yeah.
opinion,
Yes.
that is somewhat of the reason behind the leaked text.
Correct.
Exactly.
So apparently she waited, this woman right here, Sarah Brady, waited until the new mother of his child, his first child.
Is that the ex?
I believe so.
That's
Yes.
the ex. Well,
She
some
waited.
people from the LGBTQ community.
Drunk, Sarah, you getting old? Like, what was the motivation for doing that? For me, understandably, like, looking at something like this and the fact that she made the strategic move right when they've had a child and he's starting a family with someone is doggish. I'm sorry. That's like a really bitchy woman move to do. Because it almost feels as though you're trying to indirectly wreck a home by what? Making him look better? Because you know the internet's gonna be on your side and try to tear his life apart by having standards. And clearly, you didn't meet those standards, boo. Somebody else was of more value to him than you because they also valued him more than you did. And now you're salty. It honestly makes her look bad. And honestly, I'm glad that Jonah did that because he dodged a big ass bullet. Holy shit. Not only is her face shaped like a bullet, he dodged an actual bullet. Emotionally, this person is toxic. And the fact that they the fact that they leaked this problematic text, if that's what you want to call it, is even further proof that she's toxic. I can't imagine the things that she said because we don't hear her side of it. We just see his side of it, and she's trying to paint this narrative as, look what he did to me. He's emotionally abusive. So some of the people on Twitter are like, notice how people say they want communication until it comes to honesty. My boundaries, based on the ways these actions have hurt our trust. This says it wasn't how their relationship originally was. It's a reaction to a perceived violation of trust. And then they highlight the message there. Somebody else said, what exactly does Sarah want? What's the reason for her to go public now? Jonah is very respectful in these texts, so what is her issue? She's sick and toxic and sad and miserable. And she probably is mad because he's now happy and moved on and got exactly what he wanted. And this woman got what she wanted. And she's feeling salty and jealous and disgusting. You have other stupid people who are like, Jonah Hill be like, babe, I set a clear boundary that you don't leave the basement. But notice also how this person turned off their comments. Probably good idea. Another person says, the more Jonah Hill's ex posts proof of controlling behavior, quote unquote, the more I want to wish Jonah Hill congratulations on leaving a toxic relationship. Thank you. He says, screenshotting intimate text between us is a huge triggering violation for me and a breach of trust as a friend, as I've explained to you about breaches of trust I've had between trusted friends recently that have caused me trauma. I'm incredibly hurt and feel a lack of safety where I've always trusted you. I'm sorry if a former partner moving on is painful, and I empathize with that, but I've done nothing wrong, and if I wasn't a public person, I wouldn't face that kind of violation. I wouldn't face this kind of violation, and having shared that with you, and then watching you be like, this shatters my ability to trust anybody even further. I've always shown you kindness and support. Try to remain close as a testament to my care and love for you. I'm sorry you feel these negative things, Sarah, but I know you don't. They're too untrue and just said with anger, which is fair. I'm glad you feel you get to be your full self and soar. That is all I could ever want for you. Please take care of yourself, and I'm happy to pay for your therapy through the end of the year, even though you'll somehow punish me with that gesture. gesture, but I don't care because it's best for you. Be well, Sarah. All I want in life is to be a family person, start a family, so that is, and will be my immediate goal. I respect that yours is your career, and I respect it deeply. I hope we both get what we want. And then she apparently says, impressive turnaround, by the way. You just let your publicist know that ain't me trying to start a career over here. Someone said, bitch is crazy. But you know, people are starting to realize, okay, she's fucking insane. No, Mina. God, people are dumb. Person wrote a comment, said, the man pursued a surfer model and then told her not to be a surfer model because of boundaries. He is controlling. Now, if she was a surfer and a model before that, what he basically said, based on what I could see, is he didn't have a problem with her surfing. It was the stuff that came along with it that she started doing, which was boundary-less interaction with guys and whatnot. Like I said, she's not showing what she said, because it's probably toxic things that she's saying. But even if that were the case, let's just say he was stupid and he decided to do that, and she's like, I want to continue to pursue this goal, and he said, all right, fine, then we can't be together because I'm not comfortable with this. Maybe I was in the beginning, but it really does affect me, and I realize that, and if you're not willing to not do that, that's fine, that's fair, but we can't be together. How's that controlling? You know how many girls get with guys that are fuckboys and womanizers, and then they're all like, I can change him. Don't flirt with those girls. Don't sleep with those girls. But he was sleeping with everyone, including you, when you got with him. What did you think when you became his boyfriend, or when he became your boyfriend, that he would just stop? Did you really? Like, how many of us girls have gotten with really hot guys? I'm guilty of that too. I was stupid and naive, and I got with a guy that every other girl wanted, and he was screwing everybody else. And I was like, oh my God, I love him. Maybe, my love for him will make him nice. And then he goes and he screws more girls and cheats on you. Oh, but I love him. I'll forgive him. Like, get the fuck off. Stop. Please stop. These same girls who are on TikTok all like, he ghosted me. The same dudes you're going after that are super hot, guys, and they have an extroverted lifestyle where they're hanging around a lot of women, and you feel all romanticized that you were chosen this day of the week. You get upset because you expect, hey, if you're going to be doing this, like, now that we're together, I have standards. I don't want you hanging around a bunch of girls. And he's like, no, I'm still gonna hang around with girls. You're dumb if you stay with him. It is well within your right at that point to say, you know what? I know you, this was who you were before we met, but if we're going to be together, you like me, I like you, I don't want you doing that anymore. If you want to still do that, that's fine, but we can't be together. Are you being controlling as a female? Were you stupid for going after? Yeah, sure, maybe, but I don't see it as being controlling by you saying, if we're gonna stay together, I'm not okay with this. Just like, I know, call me crazy if you're on dating sites and you were on dating sites and on Tinder and all that stuff before you met someone, and then you find someone who knew you were on dating sites, and they say, hey, could you not go on dating sites anymore because I'm getting serious with you? I don't really feel comfortable with that. And you're like, controlling much? I don't think it's out of that person's realm for them to ask those things. It's communicative. Like, I don't get what's so controlling about this. Had a girl done it, it's okay, but a guy does it and he's controlling. That's controlling. That's gaslighting 101, by the way, which women are very good at. I wish my partner was capable of communicating as well as Jonah Hill has. Someone said they're both tapped. His boundaries are not boundaries. He's obviously controlling, as the person with the Wednesday profile. Anyway, but based on her own post, he let her know that about himself very early on. She continued on with it. Exactly. All this stuff now she is doing just comes off as bitter ex-girlfriend to me, especially the time period in which it's come out, which people mentioned, which is he's having a baby and he's being happy. She's probably searching through his social media and she wants to stir up some shit because she's freaking ratchet as fuck. Someone said, fun fact, his ex's Instagram following has doubled since she started leaking DM, but I'm sure it has nothing to do with why she's dropping more today. Can we stop with the freaking street mentality that a lot of women have? Like, it's not giving, girl. It's not giving. It's actually taking away. Unless your strategic reason for this is that you're a piece of shit and all you care about is your Instagram followers because you're probably not as alluring as you used to be. Go do your career. Why are you coming out with this 3 years later? If you're so hell-bent on your career and your happiness and doing everything that you're doing, why are you waiting until the dude has a baby? You do come off looking bitter and and desperate. I'm getting actual secondhand embarrassment from this. And even if you admit that they both had problems and he sought therapy or whatever, he's out there living his life. He's not posting all the toxic shit you did. You have sites like Insider saying Jonah Hill's alleged text messages show that therapy speak is officially out of control. This type of therapy speak, when people throw around terms like boundaries, self-care, and toxic, has become increasingly popular. These phrases can be useful in helping people stick up for themselves in unhealthy relationships, but some therapists warn that therapy speak has ironically enough been used to justify some self-centered, boundaryless behavior. Huh. Funny they use this term. What in the hell is that? Ew. What is that? Stop. If we take it at face value, it seems like concerning behavior because it's controlling somebody's actions. While therapy speak might sound healthy and mature, it can also be a tool for emotional abuse and manipulation. Maybe so, but if you ask me, based on what I've seen on social media, most women use therapy speak, and that is lauded and praised. Oh my god, he was so toxic, and like, this is not good for me, this is triggering for me, and everybody's like, I know, right? Oh my god, pat you on your shoulder, I would totally cry with you right now, and like, your boobs if I was there. But a guy does it, and it's manipulative. Make it make sense, people, make it make sense. I don't understand. And then you wonder why so many people, so many dudes especially, will have stuff happen to them like this, and then turn a complete 180 and actually legitimately hate women. And then these same women who do this to men like this turn around and ask, why are all these men so angry with women? You're creating a monster that you cried wolf and claimed to the rest of the village existed when it didn't. And then you're getting mad. Good grief. Oh my god. Anyway, I'm sick of this now. This video's long enough. But dude, I never thought, like, I don't know what's going on with 2023. I thought 2020 was like the day of reckoning, but this is the freaking aftermath, bro. Apparently COVID hit some people far worse than did others because some people came off the freaking ventilators and lost half their freaking intellect.